Welcome everybody to the second series of the evening. It is SLTV Pro Series Season 11, Qnatek Esports versus Donkey Dota. It is a best of 3 series and this is the lower bracket, so you lose this, you are completely out of the tournament. You only get one chance in one best of 3. If you make it, you still have a crap ton of games to play anyway, because only the top 3 will actually get something, some of the prize money. The first place will get a direct spot in the next season's Star Series, whereas the second two will get a qualifier spot, so they might still get into the Star Series as well. But in any case, we're SLTV, your English coverage for this. I'm Couchor, and I am joined by Mr. Blackadder, man. How you doing?
Not too bad, man, not too bad. A long day of university, and now I get to come back and do what I like, which is the Dota, of course. These two teams, I'm expecting aggression. I'm hoping for aggression. I could really use a good aggressive game to start this off, and well, there's a Skywrath. That's a good aggressive way to start. Good slows, good burst. And now we get some pushing power as well, so there's going to be some aggression on both sides of the table to begin this one.
It is always nice to see some aggression. I mean, first game of the best of 3 in the previous one, it was rather passive. Freaking boring to watch as well, terribly just farming and split pushing all game long, but the second two were great at least. One was a 11-minute GG out, so all was good, but Donkey Dota, I mean, having started with a Venomancer, does this indicate some form of a heavier pushing coming, or is it just like a decently solid hero?
Well, it's going to depend on which role it's played in, because a core Venomancer has quite a bit of pushing power, would go towards maybe the Aghanims, look to get those big poison overs off, whereas the support version, generally a lot poorer, the pushing isn't as viable, I suppose would be the best way to phrase it, but can teamfight fairly well with Venomous Gale, with the Poison Nova, of course, and just the all-around slow and control a Venomancer can bring. So it's going to depend on how it's ran in this case. And I honestly do not know this Donkey Dota lineup that well. I know a few of these guys by reputation. Aki has stood in for a lot of teams. So who knows? It's going to completely depend on them.
Yeah, it's. I have to say the same kind of. I haven't seen them with this particular lineup, maybe once, but it's just not enough of a pool for my memory to really just take anything from. I do believe Nico Baby and Akim Bro were standing for Hehe most recently as stand-ins, but both sides look to be going for at least potential supports for both sides. I guess Venomancer is mostly more in a core role than a support, but Qnatek, Earthshaker Skyref, definitely a strong support combination, but what kind of cores would you expect either side to pick up?
Core-wise, well, I'm seeing things like the Death Prophet banned out, Slarks removed. Honestly, I'm looking for the bigger team fight style here, considering we've seen Earthshaker and a Skywrath versus an Ogre and a Venomancer. So cores like Puck, Invoker are going to be really good for the aggression, for the initiation power, specifically Puck for the silence if it's picked up by Donkey Dota. Other than that, for the farming base, for the big hard carries, Spectre and Anti-Mage are the ones that spring to mind in this case. Spectre can just chew through people, and Anti-Mage versus, say, Ogre, remove all of his mana, and then you've just got a walking bomb to hit with the mana break.
Oh well, Mana Break definitely is pretty damn massive if you can actually properly get it as well, but looking at the bans, Razor banned out, I guess it's kind of an annoying hero, but Razor, to be honest, most of the games I've seen it just really hasn't done much of anything these days.
Well, he didn't get any major nerfs in the last patch. He's a good all-around hero, still has a lot of pushing power behind him, but both of these teams, they can ban this Razor, and I'm surprised between the two of them that it's actually Donkey that ban it, considering they've got the Venomancer who's also going to be looking to maybe push with the wards versus Qnatek, whereas Qnatek, they're built for team fight. This is a style that I would have expected 6 months ago, 8 months ago. Skywrath Earthshaker was all of the rage back then. It works very well in combination with these big team fight and push style heroes. So we've got a lot of front-loaded damage already for Qnatek. We see bans on the Death Prophet, Jakiro, Razor, banning a lot of these push heroes. Now we see a ban on the Zeus, actually by Qnatek, which surprises me again. But again, high front-loaded alpha damage, Lightning Bolt, Thunder God's Wrath, very nasty. So they're trying to survive the opening onslaught right now of Donkey Dota because they don't really want to get multicast into a Lightning Bolt and then there's going to be someone dying somewhere. But
Well, like you said, it was a little bit surprising that they themselves banned it out. they had the Skyriff Mage to combo it up with if need be. Just Ancient Seal into Zeus Burst is ridiculous. Nobody can really handle that. So it forces the enemy to go into BKBs. But Zeus core actually, even in the late game, he can offer so much to a team, because in the late game usually BKBs are down to 5 seconds only. So that's not all that reliable either, and the burst is just so hard to deal with, but not going to be here in this game. Phantom Assassin also banned out by Donkey Dota themselves. Slark also banned out already, so... Well, they just go for another support, so this kind of means that Venomancer will be the core here.
Or an Ogre core, but it has been done on occasion. Certainly leaning towards the Venomancer core, possibly the offlane hero, maybe even the mid, depending on what they run it with. But now we're looking for something bigger, something tankier for Donkey Dota, maybe something with a Blink Dagger and that can initiate. Magnus is a really good hero that I do love to see played, but it's more likely going to be something along the line of, say, I'd say a Slardar would actually work out pretty well here. Just being able to get the Blink initiation, it's got a large amount of armor and a large amount of health that can help lock down these heroes for the Witch Doctor. Or, of course, the Faceless Void could work out.
Yeah, probably Void would be the safer choice of those two at least. I mean, Slardar, as strong as that hero may be, it's just too big of a gamble, I guess. If the hero doesn't take off, you just cannot fight from behind if you're a Slardar. You jump in, or you try to jump in and you die immediately, more or less, if you just don't have the items to follow up there. But then again, just the minus armor, the amplified damage with the Death Ward, it definitely would be rather sick. So I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it. I just don't think it's highly likely that we're gonna see it. Faceless Void, on the other hand, that you mentioned, definitely could be coming out here. Donkey Dota, they need an offlaner, Tidehunter banned, so it's like either a Centaur or that Void. And being up against a Clockwork, Faceless Void would be better in a sense that you can at least time walk away from the cogs, whereas Centaur, even with the Stampede, can't do anything.
Yeah, I would agree on that much. But the Clockwork pickup here for Qnatek, I'm liking a lot. Clockwork, you don't see it as much as you used to. It's a very powerful hero still. You cannot underestimate it, and there's that Void we were looking for. But a Clockwork, consider this. Cogs, 8 seconds at rank 4, positional disruption. That is ridiculous. That's up there with Fisher in terms of how much damage it does to a team fight. One well-placed Cogs can win you a fight, hands down. Cut the support off from the carries, or vice versa. Of course, you've got a Void who can jump over Cogs, but if he gets clipped by the Cogs at all, he may not have enough mana to cast a Chronosphere. I mean, this is going completely off memory, but with Cogs, I believe at rank 4, it drains something like 180 mana? No, 200 mana. To avoid, that could be his entire pool gone if he's not careful. It's also got a lot of ways to disrupt the Witch Doctor when he gets his Death Ward going, be it with Hookshot, be it with Battery Assault. I love this pickup here. And now it gets even better with a Morphling as a carry. High mobility, has burst capability, or could look to go late game and then team fight.
Yeah, and with the Faceless Void that you mentioned that he might not have enough mana, if he gets clipped but still has enough mana, the clipping of the cogs might just prevent the Chronosphere from coming out for long enough for the Skyriff to get an Ancient Seal off, for example. So, definitely the Clockwork, his positioning, his ability usage in the fights and in the game all in all, is probably gonna just set the pace for Qnatek. But, well, going for a Morphling, it's kind of a safe carry, I guess. But Morphling is one of the better carries to have if you're dealing with a Faceless Void, just because you're gonna have that replicate possibility to just activate the replicate, get out before the Chronosphere actually catches you.
Yeah, that is certainly an option. And if you can dodge the Chronosphere and make the Void waste it, that is pure gold. But other benefits of that Morphling, it may not be 6.75, where Morphling was a god among mortals, but consider what he can bring to the table. High survivability, a good stun if he's strength morphed, high damage if he's agility morphed, waveform for mobility, maybe an E-Blade. I like the idea of an E-Blade, especially against this lineup.
Oh, E-Blade, I mean, Witch Doctor just wouldn't be no more. I guess Venomancer, depending on the itemization he goes for, might be an easy target as well, although if it's a core Venomancer, just having like Aghanims, maybe Mech as well, not that easy of a target. And as far as supports go, Ogre Magi, definitely a rather tanky one as well. But then again, Ancient Seal into Shotgun, my freaking god. That would hurt so much. And not only that, they just have the cogs for the Mystic Flare setup to follow as well, so just Shotgun into Mystic Flare. nobody without the BKB can really take that.
Yeah, this entire lineup from Qnatek, it just flows well. You've got ability of cogs to disrupt, as you say, maybe give time for the Skyrath to get an Ancient Seal. You've got Fisher, all of the stuns in the world from the Earthshaker. You've got the Morphling in that hard carry role. We're just looking for a mid laner here for Qnatek, considering we've got the roaming combo of the Skyrath and the Earthshaker. And, well, Puck being banned out, I was hoping for a Puck, but with Puck banned, what can work in this mid lane with this kind of lineup? Magnus does work in this case. More stuns, more AoE threat. A Warlock, actually, I would quite like. But now with the Ember pickup for Donkey, they need something that can silence or burst this Ember to stop that Flame Guard doing all that much. So, Warlock maybe not, but the likes of, say... the Invoker would still fit. Drain the mana of the enemy. Play Mana Warfare. Quas Wex. Or, of course, you could go for the Exhort and just go for the high Sunstrike damage, burst damage, and look to just evaporate these heroes. The only hero for Donkey Doto that feels tanky enough, really, is the Ogre. Everyone else is relatively low on base health, specifically the Void.
Yeah, it's just Void. He's going to have to rely on the ability to backtrack in that case, but I guess something like a Queen of Pain maybe wouldn't be too horrible, but if they really want to, they can even still send the Morphling mid lane, for example, and pick up another safe lane core for themselves. Although, well, going for a Viper, I was thinking about that hero for a little while, at least before the Ember came out, but it's still a decent-ish hero, even if it's up against the Venomancer. Corrosive Skin will make the Plague Wards just hurt the Venomancer a little bit more than they hurt the Viper in most cases. But how do you expect Donkey Doto to even lane this? Is this kind of an aggressive tri-lane with Veno, Ogre and Witch Doctor?
It could be, but right now I'm thinking it's going to be a safe lane Void, mid lane Ember, off lane Venomancer, then the Ogre and the Witch Doctor roaming or in the tri-lane defensive. They can't really afford to go with the off-lane Void in this case, I don't think. It'd be punished far too heavily by either the Viper or the Morphling, since both of these heroes can mid quite well. If it's a mid Morphling, I actually quite like that idea a bit better, because then you put a safe lane Viper who's going to get all of the farm in the world, get the stats, tank up, and that kind of Viper is a real threat. Another hero that crossed my mind for Qnatek that they could have picked, Storm Spirit. Or you did mention the Queen of Pain, both of which natural Orchid carriers, and they can punish the Ember. You have to either silence the Ember or burst the Ember. Those are your real two routes, because if an Ember's left running around a fight, you've got problems.
Oh, you most certainly do, but now to introduce the lineups for Qnatek Esports on the dire side, T1 will be playing the offlane Clockwork, leaving Ahelia, I guess so, on the Viper.
We're going with Ahelia.
Ahelia, yeah.
I'm sure chat will tell us if we're wrong.
So, Jedrox, Gedrox, whatever, playing on the Skyrath Mage with Imxo on the Earthshaker, and Puzzle will be the last on the Morphling.
And of course, on that flip side of the coin for Donkey Doto, we've got Nico Baby on that Ember Spirit in the bot lane. He's going to be most likely supported in a tri-lane here, and we've got tri-lane Ember, which surprises me slightly. He's got Aki on the Ogre, going to be backing him up. And of course, on that Witch Doctor, we do have Kyclop. Is that how we pronounce this? Kyclop. Yeah, we'll go with Kyclop. It seems right. In the mid lane, we do have Adot on the Venomancer. And up in the off-lane role, we do have the off-lane versus Void, which again surprises me with this kind of laning style. We've got Inuyasha. He mentioned how to pronounce this in the lobby. It was Inuyasha.
I have no idea why he put the I there instead of a Y, instead of it being Yasha, because I'm pretty sure it's from an anime, which is a pretty old one, which is actually called Inuyasha. So I have no idea why he put the I there instead of the like Yasha, but who knows, man.
We've got Inuyasha. Too many syllables. Inuyasha on that. We'll go with it.
I'm going to call him just Inuyasha. I'm going to go with that.
I'm going to shorten it to Yasha just for my sanity. Since you know me, insanity, it's a valuable commodity that rapidly evaporates. But in this case, it is a mid lane Veno up against a mid lane Viper. So this is a lane where I'm going to favour the Viper. I mean, you really need to either burst a Viper or zone a Viper out, and a Venomancer can't really do that, even with the Plague Wards that we're most likely going to see at some point. So I'm going to say, in game number 1, I'm going to put my money on Qnatek to take it.
I'm just so disappointed that DD, Donkey Dota, aren't running an aggressive tri-lane at the moment. It's lame. Of course, would have been a pretty strong lineup for the tri lane of Qnatek themselves. But I'm just gonna have to go with the opposite. I'm just gonna put my money in Donkey Dota because it's not any fun if both casters are just thinking the same team will win.
I suppose. But in a try-v-try scenario, when you've got a Skywrath Mage and an Earthshaker on the board, you generally favour the Skywrath and the Earthshaker unless there's a Visage or an Undying on the table. And in this case, there are neither. So I just cannot argue against Qnatek's lineup. I like this style of draft too much. The aggressive style. I used to see this a lot from the Finnish players. But this is just my kind of Dota. Aggressive in your face, which I'm hoping is what it's going to transition into. You know me. I'm happy if we're 2 kills plus a minute.
Oh man, it's always the best. Sometimes, of course, I wouldn't say there are too many kills, but there are too many kills for the camera to capture all of them at one point, or sometimes. So, I guess it's acceptable if you see kills anyway. But in the mid lane, so far, Ahilia is doing fairly well, 11 and 6 compared to a 6 and 1 Venomancer. Of course, he's gone for 2 points into Nether Toxin as well, just early value damage, I guess. But I would have really expected just maybe even at least 1 point into Corrosive Skin, just to make sure the Plague Wards actually damage Venomancer himself at all times.
Yeah, I should think so. I mean, the point in the Corrosive Skin certainly is going to be effective for that. I mean, Plague Ward spam only gets you so far. He's got 2 points up in it now, but just take a look at this. The aggressive movements forward, the Fissure block, that's First Blood. There is no way to stop that, and it'll be picked up by... How are we pronouncing this again?
Ahilia.
Ahilia.
Bottom lane, Clockwork goes down as well, but still First Blood was thrown by Qnatek. Nico Baby almost getting it for himself, still has a lot of gold, 1400. Just picks up boots now, might even finish them up. Yes, face boots it is. So, a little bit too late to the party, didn't get the First Blood, but a kill nonetheless. Although Clockwork, for an offlaner, being level 3 compared to a, well, almost level 2 Faceless Void, doing really well for himself still.
I'll agree. It's a build on Clockwork, though, that we're seeing with more points in the Rocket Flare. Personally, I've always preferred Battery Assault, but that's just because it's an up-in-your-face style of aggression, whereas Rocket Flare is more, I'm going to use it, I'm going to try to get some gold, just build up my items slowly and just threaten and force the enemy out. It's tactically the right case in this one. It's just not the aggressive style of Clockwork that I love to see.
Yeah, it's just the Battery Assault, if you get into the face of a support, they just cannot do anything at all. Maybe Witch Doctor with Voodoo Restoration might be able to survive that, but he hasn't even gone for a single point into it. He's level 3, but has that 1 point into Maledict. I guess it's kind of a guaranteed hit up against Power Cogs, so that's nice. Even up against Morphling, it might be fine with the Maledict to get the kill at 1 point, but just Voodoo Restoration, you should at least like get 1 point into it.
Definitely. Voodoo Restoration as an ability is just ridiculous, especially early game healing. It lets you put so much aggression on the flip side of the coin. You can just keep plowing down lanes. I've seen a style of play where you just go with high points in the Voodoo Restoration, maybe 2 points at level 4, and then you just barrel down a lane and just take towers. But right now, Aniox has got to be very careful, but in comes the counter rotation from that Skywrath Mage of Gedrox. They can bring down Aki, that's going to be perfect, but not before they lose that Viper, unfortunately. However, the counter kill will be there, cleaned up by actually the Corrosive Skin, I'm guessing, killed the Ogre Magi? Has to be.
Might have been the Viper Strike as well there. It was used after all, so yeah, no point in the Corrosive Skin, so must have been Viper Strike or Poison Attack. It's a combination of them probably.
Residual damage.
Yeah. So really nice counter kill, but still nice XP going for DD, although then again, Skywrath getting closer to level 6 thanks to being there for the counter kill. Definitely something to worry about if you're Donkey Dota as well. Also just looking at the last hits, Morphling 29. I guess Ember Spirit is keeping up, but mid lane Venomancer, although I guess he died once, now they got the counter kill, but Viper still heavily ahead in the mid lane in last hits.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big threat. Having 2 cores, specifically a Viper and a Morphling, getting this kind of farm, is going to be very worrying, and this is going to be an easy kill as well by Puzzle onto that Faceless Void. Just the Fissure follow up by a Waveform. The kind of damage that this lane can put out is quite scary.
This Faceless Void just isn't getting anything at all. At least he can TP back immediately and doesn't miss a single point of XP thanks to that. But even then, he's just not getting anything, and in the meantime, T-Bone, he's gonna go down bottom lane, at least most likely. His Maledict is on him, but he might even be able to survive. They're not gonna keep on going thanks to Gedrox TPing in, although T-Bone, last Maledict tick, will it bring him down? The Tango, oh god, the Tangos keep him alive.
Hero Tango, that was his last Tango to boot, so certainly paying off there. And it was a really good cogs out of T-Bon as well. It forced the Ember Spirit who just charged under the tower with his Flame Remnant, and he missed it. He overshot the cogs, so the cogs pushed him further into the tower. It almost resulted in Nico Baby losing his life, but he survives and will continue to try to farm up. Then again, Gedrox is going to punish. Rocket Flare will connect. One right click would have killed Nico if the Skywrath had turned on it, but still, good pressure, good Rocket Flares, and just threatening Nico's life at all times.
Yeah, as fast as a Skyriff Mage is, without the boots, you cannot really catch up to a Face Boots Ember Spirit, unfortunately. I mean, it's really weird to see 6, almost 7 minutes in that Skyriff doesn't just have normal boots even. It's like, what the hell is going on? But I guess that's what happens when you have to TP reactively. Just as a support early on, you most of the times just don't have the gold or mana to just keep on rotating around with TPs. So a little bit unfortunate that he lacked the boots to just get the last right click in as well. But now Nico Baby has a haste rune. With that, T-Bon has to be a little bit more careful, but he's almost level 6 already. He just needs that one extra level. And once they get the hookshot, they can just start setting up kills left and right, probably.
Yeah, I expect a lot more rotations once we have that hookshot online, but I think more important than the hookshot right now is the Earthshaker. He has his Arcane Boots at 6 minutes and 45 seconds. That means we're going to see a lot more fishes, we're going to see a lot more aggression out of him. Now he has that mana capacity to spam. And on top of this, what's he going to be building for next? That all-important Blink Dagger. And then Earthshaker really does come into his own.
Mid lane A-Dot, he's gonna go down so damn easy. Long range concussive shot into Viper Strike, into a few right clicks, and Venomancer literally nothing he could do there. Even got Ancient Seal, so can't go for a Venomous Scale or anything. And with this, Achilea has himself a mech finish now as well.
So we got a mechanism up. That kill was actually sniped out by the Earthshaker, so that's going to be a bit more gold going to him, and he wants to try to accelerate towards a Blink Dagger. This feels very comfortably in Qnatek's favor right now. Of course, early game, it could still rotate on a dime, so I'm not going to call it for either team, but it just feels more comfortable for Qnatek, certainly.
So, with the mech finish this early on, do you expect Qnatek to actually start fighting as, oh, never mind Nico Baby, he's gonna get caught by the T-Bon. Even the hookshot was used, but of course he has remnants, he got to safety anyway. So it was just a couple of remnants for a hookshot used. But with the mech done, do you expect Qnatek to just go for all-out aggression now and just make good use of the burst heal that they have and which TD lacks?
Well, a burst heal from a mech is good for just getting a tower down, but they still have to be very careful, since what's a mech really going to accomplish versus, say, the sustained damage of a Death Ward, Venomous Gale, potentially when these heroes start hitting level 6? And that's not really far off for either of them. Well, we've actually got a level 7 Venomancer here, but he's still not got his Gale, so maybe he's going to pick that up at level 8, I should think. You'd hope, because Venomancer starts getting a good amount of mana pool now, and he does have a bottle, so he can supply the mana necessary for Poison Nova. Maybe not valuing level 1 as much as level 2 and 3. It's still really good, though, at this point in the game, you would think.
Yeah, it's maybe at level 9, just get like second point into the Venomous Scale all... Whoa, never mind. Inuyasha barely made it out. Ancient Seal was on a melee creep instead by Skyriff Mage. Don't know what that was about, but Inuyasha survives to fight another day. Has picked up the Glass of Haste. I would think a catch-up Midas might be coming for the Faceless Void at the moment, just to kind of ensure some form of late game for him as well, rather than just being a utility void, just only the Chronosphere and that's it.
Well, it seems a utility void with just a Chrono isn't really going to be enough, considering Nico, he's being threatened, and he's going to try to go toe-to-toe with Imoxo, which isn't going to work. The hookshot doesn't actually connect to Nico because of the positioning of Earthshaker, but on the second part of this fight, we do have the Witch Doctor going down to the Rocket Flare, and Gedrox was there for that experience as well, so again, a good kill going the way of Qnatek. No, they need certainly more than a utility void in this case. They're losing too much on all of their other lanes. They need the farm on Inuyasha. Without the void online, this is a big problem.
Yeah, he definitely, I think, also needs the Midas in this game, but he's still quite a ways off from it unless DD just get like 2 tier 1s down all of a sudden or something like that. That's because he's only sitting on 12 last hits at the moment. He's below the Earthshaker in farm. I guess Earthshaker has been a part of 4 kills out of the 5 that their team has, so really impressive plays so far. Of course, he has had just the farm priority as well. Gedrox finally gets his boots. 11 minutes in, Skyriff getting his boots. That's probably like one of the slowest boot Skyref I have ever seen.
Well, to be fair, he's not been taking any CS. He's got only 6. He has been part of 3 kills, but they were all assists, so he's not got maximum gold from that. But he's still been rotating, and he's not died. So all in all, it's not that bad a thing. And again, in comes the TPs into the mid lane. They're going to try to bring down the Viper in this case. The stun is there from Aki. If they can finish this off, that's perfect, but he's just going to TP out. They don't have any more stuns, and I did hear a missed hook shot as well, but still, a nice escape there coming out of the Viper.
Yeah, they were the ones to initiate with a Fisher and Viper strike onto Club, but Witch Doctor just got into the trees. Inuyasha might be in some trouble, doesn't backtrack enough right clicks. Puzzle hitting pretty hard as well, over 100 damage at this point. And this might be a tier 1 going down. Inuyasha trying to do something. He has the Chronosphere as well if they want to have somebody TP in. Death Ward would be available if he had enough mana, but there's the Fisher coming out, waveform over, just as I look away for a second, man. Oh god. So, Faceless Void, he didn't go for the Midas, or isn't going for it at the moment, went for Power Threads first.
Yeah, it's a rough position to be in. Going for the Midas, a recovery Midas can be a good thing, but they are just too far behind really for Midas to pay off. He needs something more instant to gain some kind of worth out of it. But now in comes a mass rotation onto Puzzle. They can bring down the Morphling, that'll be huge, but tower's denied by Nico Baby. There's going to be no worth there. He waveforms into the trees. I think he's going to be safe. He is out of there.
Oh man, this just sucks for DD, and oh, the Fisher comes up, but Imps go pops the Echo Slam as well. It's just not enough damage at this point. No idea what he was entirely thinking, but Nico Baby gets 1 kill. They're gonna get the Earthshaker now as well, because Paralyzing Cask stopped the TP mech. Will buy some time, maybe. Nope, never mind. Didn't even use it. That was extremely weird, I have to say.
Yeah, but this fight, well, you see here the cogs, it's just a good way to stop it. Then again, in comes that Time Warp looking to try to bring down the Viper. A couple of right clicks may do it. The Viper Strike does go on the Asher, but Kronos is going to drop, locking Puzzle down. Death Ward channeled as well. They can bring the Morphing down, that's huge, but the waveform does clean up the Witch Doctor. Trading blows into Yasha. If they can finish off the Void, that'll be huge as well, but no, he's going to have to switch targets. Puzzle's going to turn around and go for A dot instead. Goes down with the help of Gedrox and that Mystic Flare. Now chasing Nico, waveform forward. A couple of right clicks might do it. That's not going to kill him with the Arcane Bolt, considering the Flame Shield was still up, but Nico's going to hobble out of there with no health remaining. He needs to regen and he needs to do something. But in the backside of the fight, Yasha will clean up the Scarith Mage, but is traded, and Puzzle will clean up the Void in response.
What? That fight, the whole engagement was a little bit awkward, to be honest. First of all, the initiation from Earthshaker from the Invis rune, it was... Of course, they didn't have proper vision of where DD was. It was, I guess, just a little bit unfortunate for the Earthshaker in that case. Echo Slam kind of wasted as well. In the end, though, I think Qnatek still come out slightly here just because Puzzle, he got the kills, he survived, although he might die here. They get the Searing Chains, he's still plenty tanky though, and well, suddenly A-Dot, he's under the tower, cogged up as well. No escape from this, just no mech, no nothing, no Force Staff even to use. And Aki, oh god, the hookshot comes out, they cannot lose the Ogre here. Fire Blast, no multicast, might still get the kill, a few more smacks, he gets the kill. Puzzle in the meantime, waveform over. Nico Baby still alive, Puzzle is as well. Strength Morph is just way too strong, and Nico Baby gonna outrun the Skyref, so it's a 1-for-1 clock for Venomancer in the end.
Still quite favourable, in all honesty, towards Qnatek. Killing off that mid-Veno is a perfect thing to do. It stops all form of pushing, and if a Veno cannot get early towers secured, that's a very bad thing. I mean, he wants to try to get these Plague Wards all up so he can start cracking on this mid-tower. It's not happening. Every time he tries to get some form of aggression in that mid lane, it's shut down. If not by a Moxa, it will be shut down by Gedrox. These rotations are just coming around so perfectly. This is good play coming out of Qnatek on the whole.
What do you think of Puzzle going for a Lincoln Sphere, by the way, in the Morphling?
Lincoln Sphere up against Donkey Doto's lineup? I suppose it does stop the multicasts for the most part. It stops the first bounce of the cast. It does make some sense, but in this case, I would actually prefer to see a BKB. Just for the whole ability to keep fighting through everything. The only thing that will go through the BKB near enough is the Chronosphere, and that's not really a massive threat at this point. They've just got too much. They'll clean up the tower in that mid lane. Now A-Dot gets melted under the Mystic Flare. Gedrox will take that kill, and this is just a all-around good showing. However, it will be a tower for a tower, and you do have the lineup from Donkey pushing this bottom lane. And if they can start cracking on a tier 2 and force rotations, force TPs, that's going to be absolutely perfect, considering in the backlines you do have Aki and Qnatek, which are just looking to rotate in. If they can fight and kill at least one of these heroes that are rotating, that will equal the gold differential there and earn them something back for their investment of time pushing this wave.
I mean, to be honest, if you look at the graphs as well, it's not that big of a difference at the moment. If you look at the kill score, I guess you cannot really expect too much as well. But only about a 1300 net worth lead. XP, a little bit more, 2300 or so. So Qnatek, they're in the lead, but Chronosphere is just one of those abilities that you're always going to have to be mindful of, especially if it's comboed up with that Death Ward. Oh god, Gedrox might find Cyclop here. Yes, Rocket Flare flies over him as well. He has the Mystic Flare if he wants to pop it, exactly what he does now, and well, Witch Doctor just royally screwed.
Yeah, and that's pretty much solo kill there. It was a good rotation to the tree line to kill him off, and just having that presence of mind to check the tree line is always a good thing, especially when you think, this feels like a trap with the rotations. They're going to kill off that Witch Doctor, they're going to go for that tier 1 on the bottom lane, and if they get this, their gold lead is just going to accelerate so nicely.
Man, that question mark though, he was like, how the freaking hell did you know I'm there? But I guess Spidey senses tingling for the Skyriff Mage now. They get the tier 1 with this as well. They are definitely pulling ahead at the moment. At least Ember Spirit hasn't been shut down or anything, so he's still gonna get a reasonably timed Battle Fury. If that was not the case, if they only had like an utility Void with Ember Spirit not having farm, this would be just maybe not GG entirely, but in GG territory. And mid lane now, they're gonna catch Aki Ogre Magi. He's tanky, but not nearly tanky enough for this. So another kill. Lincoln's finished on the Morphling now as well. Just not looking good at all for DD.
No, and it's only going to get worse, because if we take a look at Imoxo for a moment, he's got 2,100 gold, only 150 gold away from that all-important Blink Dagger. And well, as I mentioned earlier, when that Blink Dagger comes online, it is going to be very unpleasant for Donkey to set up any kind of fight without threat of counter-initiation from an Earthshaker. And that's going to be an Earthshaker with soon level 2 Echo Slam, so it only gets worse again.
Oh god, TD, they cannot handle worse, I think, I'm afraid at least. Maybe if Venomancer had like a mech, maybe even a pipe wouldn't be too bad of an investment for some of them, but all of them just need other items. Aghanim Scepter needs to come out of Venomancer at one point, same for the Ogre Magi, and Witch Doctor as well for that matter, so they just have more important items in a sense to go for than a pipe, for example. At least there's a Mask of Madness and Faceless Void now, so his own damage output will be a little bit higher, farming speed a little bit faster as well. But he's gonna need to get a pretty damn nice chrono for it to actually properly work. And now, well, Gedrox, Skyriff Mage, he's gonna be so screwed. Or is he? Nope, Fisher into Inuyasha, Ancient Seal to follow. Is he gonna pop the Mystic Flare? Rocket Flare connects as well, Mystic Flare. Oh my god, a little bit of backtracking. Puzzle gets the kill in the end with the Adaptive Strike. In the meantime, T1 goes down to Nico Baby, so it's a 1-for-1. But I'd favor Qnatek here, I mean, killing the Faceless Void.
Killing the Faceless Void is absolutely fine, and now they're trying to bring down Cyclop, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to be able to escape this one. However, A-Dot may not be so lucky, does get caught by the Viper Strike. Multicast 2x, not going to be enough to finish off the Viper, but in comes that Fisher once more. Imoxo being the sniper, getting another one, and that's a 3-for-1 at the end of the fight. Quite the favourable advantage once again for Qnatek, and they just keep maintaining this good kill-to-death ratio throughout this entire game.
Nico Baby wants to go for more though, and he's gonna get it with one sleight of fist. So at least he gets something. Does he really want to go for more? I guess he does. Maybe a little bit too overeager though. Lacks the mana for the Searing Chains even. So Puzzle just turns around, throws in a few right clicks. Still though, Nico Baby has his Battle Fury finished if he just wants to purchase it up. So that's a good sign, but that's one of the few good signs that they can just take.
Thing is, if we take a look at Nico, he's doing fine in all honesty. He's 4-0-4. He is pretty well farmed. He's got 9,100 in the net worth. He's got his first Battle Fury up at 20 minutes with a drum and phase. Nico is... he's not exactly where you'd want him to be at this point, but he's not far behind where he should be, considering he's been rotating and trying to help his team when they can. But Imoxo will catch him with an Echo Slam. Stun's going to drop. That's 2, but he's just going to manage to flame walk out, and, well, he tries for the rune, gets punished. Well, no, he actually got the rune. Holy hell. I did not expect that. I thought the Earthshaker picked it up.
Yeah, so he got the rune. He got the Echo Slam on cooldown, so it's a win for them. Just one remnant for all of that, pretty much. Although then again, had to DP all the way home just because one bottle or one refill bottle wouldn't have been enough. Still 10 to 16 the kill score, but if you look at the net worth, Morphling, yes, is farming extremely well, but considering that Nico Baby not quite on par with the Morphling, still doing really well for himself. And the Viper, to be honest, I would have expected him to be farther ahead with the way things started for him. So he's not that far ahead of a Venomancer, for example. So everything is still very much so in the open, like who is gonna kind of win in the end. It's mostly gonna be just Morphling versus Ember Spirit, who can get more accomplished.
Well, I suppose the thing is, when you go mech on Viper, you need your team around you to really capitalize on that kind of thing and look to push towers. But, well, while we're going about that, killing the jungle, an easy one onto that Venomancer and a TP out by Tibon. But smoke away as well by the Skywrath Mage, and, well, just going to reset and go again by the looks of things. They just want to keep that kind of aggression up. Still, what I was saying about with the Viper, he went for the mech. That means he really needs his team around him. They need to push towers to really gain maximum advantage out of that. He's not going to get as much kills as he would possibly if he had a Shadow Blade or went straight for something more damaging, like, say, a drum or start components for an Aghanims. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter all that much. Gedrock's going to survive for a little bit longer. That mech does keep him going, and now Nico Baby in a lot of trouble, gets silenced up, gets brought down by that attack from Puzzle. The adaptive strikes doing so much damage when he has full utility Morphin. The kills just keep coming. 2 easy kills for the lineup of Qnatek, and I'm honestly expecting a tier 2 push off the back of that one. There's no reason not to. They've got that mechanism. They don't have any of their ultimates except Mystic Flare. Sure, I could see that, but they need to get an objective after bringing down those 2 heroes. They are effectively core heroes. The Ogre is that big, all-important stunner for Donkey, and without him, they can't really fight. I mean, sure, you've got Chronosphere Death Ward, but that combo's not going to pay off right now.
Yeah, and they are going for a objective at least. Puzzle also found the double damage zone on their way to the Roche Pit. And the thing is that DDT cannot even really go and scout things out. Of course, Roshan is already dead anyway. But Venomancer, had he gone a little bit closer for the Plague Wards, probably would have suffered for it immediately. So, nice Roshan from Qnatek, and now they can just go for another fight. Puzzle, I mean, with the Aegis, Morphling doesn't have to be afraid of anything at all. Even the Chronosphere, he doesn't care about it because he has double lives. So I would hope for them to just try to capitalize. Maybe wait for the hookshot to come off cooldown and then go.
I don't think they even need to wait for the hookshot. You consider what Puzzle actually already has. He's got a Lincoln's and 4,000 gold. I'm thinking Puzzle's going to pick himself up an Eagle Song and look to build that shotgun. A shotgun on him right now would be absolutely ridiculous at 23 minutes. Just that kind of magical burst is just far too much. And there's the Ghost Scepter to pick up. So yes, it will be a shotgun onto Puzzle. This is going to be so unpleasant to fight up against. And you consider, if Puzzle shotguns the Void during the Chronosphere, the Void will do no damage at all with that auto attack disabled. It is going to be unforgivably painful for Donkey to fight back into this one if that shotgun comes online.
I liked how you said it's unpleasant. It's probably gonna be just a massive understatement there. I don't know, it just, this Morphling is a little bit too huge. He wasn't like completely out of control with accordance to just Nico Baby's farm, but with that last team fight, with the Roshan as well, it just pulled a little bit too far ahead, I think, for DD to kind of handle him. They need more lockdown than they maybe can offer, at least when the Aegis is there as well. Otherwise, yes, it's like Chrono Morphling, try to get him that way. But even if you Chrono him, and let's say he gets the Strength Morph activated before, you're still not going to be able to kill him most likely.
No, you're not. And you've got to consider, he is 6-0-5. They're already cracking on a tier 2. They've got the Aegis. What do you really do to bring down Puzzle right now? As the hookshot from T-Bron will come in. Not going to connect on any hero, unfortunately, but they are going to pop the Lincolns on Puzzle. Now, are they setting up to try to engage this? I don't think they really can. I mean, they've already lost their tier 2. Did get denied by Ak at least, but now in comes the Echo Slam onto the follow-up Fissure waveform. It is just too much damage. That's 3 kills in less than 3 seconds.
That Echo Slam was so damn huge. Fissure to follow, of course, as well. Just Earthshaker by himself almost killed those 2 heroes already. Waveform helped out a little bit as well. And then the Viper Strike, which is Aghanim's buffed now as well, so he can just keep on throwing them out. Only a 12-second cooldown after all. They are maybe a little bit too low on health and mana now to just keep on going for the high ground, but the damage really is done already. I mean, DD, I think thank God for them that they didn't have buybacks, otherwise maybe somebody would have been even tempted to buy back there and lose even more than they did, but... Man, how do you fight into that? Just, Qnatek, they have the initiation advantage, they have the blink Earthshaker, they have the hookshot. Just everything, they have everything.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter if you interrupt the blink of Imoxo and try to bring the Earthshaker down immediately, considering there is that hookshot possibility. And if you stop the clockwork and kill him off, you're going to get jumped by the Earthshaker. They're in a horrible catch-22 situation of there is always an initiator to punish them. Qnatek's lineup has that kind of flexibility. And then you have the sustained power of that mechanism and an Aghanims now for the Viper as well on top of that. So all of that damage, all of that range, and the much shorter cooldown on Viper Strike. This is going to be a nigh impossible one for Donkey to take, in my mind. And to take it, they need to start thinking, okay, how can we approach this? What can we do? What they really need to do is smoke up and kill the Earthshaker or the Skywrath Mage. They're softer targets, they're easier targets. Sure, they're not worth, say, as much as Puzzle, but they are within the realm of killable here for the lineup of Donkey. Whereas if Donkey were to try to tunnel Puzzle and kill Puzzle, that's not going to work. Not only does he have the Aegis, he's got a Lincoln's and an E-Blade. And it's a Morphling on top of that. So I don't think trying to kill one of these cores is the right idea. They need to smoke and kill supports.
So this is where I have to raise a question. How many Chronospheres have we even seen this game?
2.
Has it really been 2?
2. I've been counting. And
Okay,
now
so,
Yash has actually been revealed. The hookshot comes in, but one quick time walk by Yasha will keep him alive for a few moments longer and he'll TP out safely.
So, did either of those Chronospheres even do anything?
No.
Okay.
Not
So probably that's why I don't remember them.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just been an all-around hard game for this Void. He didn't get a very good lane. He was in the off lane. He couldn't really afford to go for a Midas, considering what he was up against, and his team were playing from behind. He didn't go for a drum, which I think may have been a better choice than a Mask of Madness in this case, since Mask of Madness has that added little punishment of you take 30% more damage while it's up. I mean, 30% more damage taken against a lineup that's already exploding you, be it via Mystic Flare or be it via possibly Clockwork Initiation right here, as Tiburon's going to 4-star out. And we got a fight cracking out on that bottom lane. Got the Viper Strike going on to Nico. Nico's trying to chase down that Viper, but now in comes Gedrox. He's going to go down to Yasha in this case. And you can see how much damage he took from that Mystic Flare while the Mask of Madness was online. And that was a Mystic Flare shared with another person, at least. It's a worrying sign now, but I'm still surprised they were pushed up that far and so split up. If the lineup for Qnatek was all grouped, they could have took that fight a lot easier. And now we've got possibly a sneaky Earthshaker trying to come in here. If he looks for a good echo here, this could be very nice, but he gets seen and is going to wisely blink away. In comes the chase, though. Mask of Madness popped by Yasha. He wants to try to hunt down someone, but not going to be able to catch anyone in time.
Like you said, it was definitely weird that they were pushed so far, yet they were so spread on the map themselves. If they just went as 5, probably easy fights for them. Maybe they're waiting for the next Aegis, who knows. I mean, I don't really see any big items coming up, I think. They have their 4 steps finished. Yep, no big item coming out in the just foreseeable future, although, oh god, they're gonna find Aki. Ogre, what the hell are you doing there, bro?
It's all Ogre. It really is all Ogre.
It's never Ogre till it's Ogre, man.
I gotta make my puns where I can. I'm usually pretty bad at them, so just ignore what I said. In comes the hook shot from that Clockwork. Tiburon gonna bring down Cyclops. There is no escape from that one. Just the threat of this Clockwork, considering how much power he actually has in this game. He's level 14. He's not got the Aghanim, sure, but 4 staff on Clockwork is probably one of the best items on him, full stop. Having the ability to 4-staff people into cogs, out of cogs, so they get hit by cogs possibly, it's all well and good. And I do like Tiburon's build. He's even going for the pipe here, and it's an item that doesn't get picked up enough in the pro scene. The pipe in this case up against a Venomancer, it is absolutely glorious to see, and Tiburon is just playing so well right now.
Yeah, I think the pipe is kind of a necessity as well if you actually want to go high ground up against an Aghanim Scepter Venomancer. Or at least if you want to go high ground, win a fight, and then just be able to be there and still push as well, not TP home, just otherwise, oh crap, I'm gonna die from the poison. So pipe definitely a good item to go for, and they get another tier 2. Faces Void though does have himself a BKB now. I mean, I guess it's gonna help somewhat, but TD, they're just finally gonna have to string a fight together, just use all of their abilities together in one freaking fight. But so far, they really haven't been able to either catch Qnatek, while DD themselves have been together, just because Qnatek themselves, they're the ones just getting pickoffs, going in with hook shots and everything. Just Qnatek, they are kind of toying around with DD.
Well, I don't think it's toying around so much as they're just keeping the pressure on. They're farming more efficiently on the map, and that is the most important thing they can be doing. They're ahead, and they're getting more ahead. Sure, it's not aggression with kills, but they're farming across multiple lanes with multiple heroes, and we see. Just look at the items coming up here. We've got a pipe coming up for Tibron on top of what he already has. For Gedrox, he's been playing that 5 role, but he still has arcanes and 2 nulls. For Imoxo, well, 4 staff, Blink Dagger, Arcane says it all. You get my point. They have so much gold and so many items coming on for Qnatek, and they're just not dropping the ball right now.
Well, I guess the next Aegis is what they are waiting for. Oh, Gedrox, he goes in as well, but it's going to respawn in like 10 seconds or so. A little bit unfortunate for them, but I guess they're still going to wait it out, push out the lane, maybe go check back in once again. And to be honest, if they have waited for the Aegis or for the Roshan anyway, they might as well wait another like 300-400 gold on the Morphling to finish the Skadi.
Well, waiting that long for the Morphling, I could actually see being the right call here. I mean, having that Skadi online is going to be very, very powerful for Puzzle. I mean, just the extra stats alone. It's such a good item on the Morphling. On top of that, it's going to add extra damage to that shotgun, not that he needed anymore. I mean, I suppose he's loading the shotgun with Incendiary Shot now instead of Buckshot. Someone is just going to die from it. And you consider Viper as well. DD has a BKB on top of an Aghanims and a mech. It is just an all-around show of force from Qnatek.
It's just Ahelia, he was like almost on par, slightly ahead of the Anomancer, but them getting the buildings, just the fights as well, pulling a little bit too far ahead, and now the glyph was used, which means they're going to be able to deny the tower if Puzzle wants to do it. He threw in one right click, but chose to just stop it. Maybe he's baiting somebody in, never mind, gonna deny it now. But that's Skadi finished now. They know Roshan is up, Earthshaker just now scouted it out. Inuyasha is hanging about at the enemy side shop. Is he trying to just prey on the innocent, hoping for a support to come or something?
I suppose he could be, but I think it's more important that they're seeing the fact that Roshan is the order of business here. Then again, Yasha will find Gedrox. Mask Command has popped. Chrono as well for a Skywrath Mage. Hookshot's going to buy some time. Is it going to be enough? There's the wow. There's a nice E-blade going to lock out Gedrox from dying. Yasha is in a lot of trouble. He goes up to the high ground, but Mystic Flare drops. So much damage getting thrown into him. He looks to be picked off here. Is he going to be able to escape? Puzzle attacking from the low ground. There's a godlike spear on him. It just all went wrong when that clockwork hook shot into the Chronosphere. The stun was enough time for the Morphling to get close enough to E-blade his own teammate, stopping the physical damage and just shutting down Yasha. I mean, it was sneaky to try to look to pick off a support. I did say they need to pick off supports, but the teamwork coming from Qnatek is just going to be enough. Now they're going to help themselves to a Roshan, and then I think it's time to go high ground. Look for that tier 3. Tibron will have that full pipe, most likely, from killing Roshan. So, again, they have the items they need. They just need to commit now.
I mean, I cannot even begin to imagine how devastating it must be to the mindset of DD, especially this Faceless Void. Having had a really hard game the entire time, and finally you're like, oh, I can kill a Skywrath Mage, screw it, I'm gonna pop Chrono for it. And you fail to get that kill, you die yourself because you weren't carrying a TP. I can't even just don't know, but Nico Baby, he's gonna get silenced up. He bladed with the Mystic Flare. Okay, even an Ember Spirit is just easy fodder.
I think it's pretty much over for Donkey at this point. I'm looking at the graphs right now, and I see a 12k lead for Qnatek in terms of net worth, and experience-wise, it's starting to get towards the 20k mark. Sure, I've seen comebacks from worse, but that generally is where a team starts to get over-aggressive and start making mistake after mistake from just playing too zealously. But right now, in comes that coordinated 5-man push from Qnatek. They want to end this, and if they can bring down this tier 3, that's going to be the order of business. Just look how much damage that shotgun does. Even an ogre does not stand.
Well, this game, I mean, I would have expected TD to maybe even tap out now, that the ogre died as well, of course. Racks aren't falling that fast at the moment because there's no Manta style coming out from the morphing yet. But I think the damage will be done anyway. Paralyzing Cask will try to buy some time. Valuable time that TD needs. I mean, Ember Spirit is back, he has the Daedalus as well. So maybe a few lucky crits, if he can even stay alive at puzzle. He's just there with the Aegis, doesn't care, gets the melee racks. Does he have a replicate somewhere as well? Wait for him first. Fisher was there to buy some time, but oh, Inuyasha goes in, only catches one, but the Earthshaker might be enough, never mind. E-Blade on Earthshaker, cannot go for the follow-up anymore. Inuyasha dropping low, but he's still alive somehow. Tries to go for the Get Rocks now. Come on! You can't even get one kill, are you freaking kidding me? And now Puzzle, he's gonna go down, but it's only the Aegis. Viper Strike into Nico, baby. He has a couple of remnants, I do believe, but the remnants are so slow. There's the Ancient Seal as well. That's a dead Ember, and they Faceless Void. No buyback on them, and that's GG.
Of course, it is a best of 3, so Donkey will have another chance to try to bring down Qnatek, and well, I think we're going to be going immediately into that. Yes, Couchor?
Yes, that is correct, guys. So, thank you so much for tuning in, supporting us, as well as the Star Ladder Pro Series, of course. Man, what a game, Qnatek. I have to say I hadn't heard of them before this, but just really good performance coming out. We'll see if they can replicate it in the second game, though. Morphling, man, 11-0-7, not a single death. What a crazy freaking game. But guys, like Blackadder said, we're gonna head into game number 2, guys, so see you there.